Hello everyone, welcome to our course MM102. So this is advertising. By the way, my name is Sonia Elvira Guillermo-Payay and I will be your teacher for the course MM102, and that is advertising. So, without further ado, let us start with our discussion. First, let's try to take a look at the different definitions of marketing. So, we have here several definitions of marketing. According to Baker, it is an establishment of mutual satisfying exchange relationship. Okay, according to Cutler and Armstrong, marketing is managing profitable customer relationship. Okay, so there are two fold goal of marketing, that is to attract new customers, okay, by providing or promising superior value, and to keep and grow current customers by delivering satisfaction. In addition to that, they also define marketing as a process by which companies create value for customers. Okay, and then according to Stapleton and Alley, marketing function, therefore, is to identify customer needs and provide a product or service that meets some of all those needs accessibly at an acceptable price to the target market. Okay, so these are the definitions of your marketing. It is also a must that you should also know our marketing management process. So of course, when we speak of your marketing management process, first you have to start with your strategic goals, okay, wherein you create your vision, mission, and objectives. So vision, what the company sees or how the company sees itself in the future. So mission, what they are going to do now to accomplish that vision. So when we speak of your objective, it is quite specific. It's more of specific for you to achieve your mission. And then it's also imperative that you scan your environment. Okay, so and then, of course, come up with your SWOT analysis. So when we speak of your environment or environmental scanning, here are your different external environments. So we have your economic, which includes your GDP, disposable income, competition, distribution channels, etc. We also have here our natural environment, of course, our social and cultural environment, legal and political environment, as well as your technological environment. Of course, we also have our internal environment. By the way, when we speak of your external environment, it is outside the company. Internal environment, we're talking about inside the company, which includes, of course, your goals, objectives, and the culture of the company. We also have research and development, technological capabilities, service capabilities, production and supply chain capabilities, our human resources, and financial resources. So after scanning your environment, we come up now with your SWOT analysis. What is your SWOT analysis? That is your strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat analysis. Okay, moving on. So the second step in your marketing management process is for you now to, okay, come up with your market opportunity analysis, wherein you have to select your product or your market. How will you do that? By, of course, applying your STP, that is your segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So what is segmentation? Basically, you identify and describe your market segment, or you cluster your segment into sub clusters. Okay, so you segment your customers. You target, next is targeting, which is now focusing. Okay. Um, Evaluating your segments, and of course decide which among these segments would you target. And then positioning, designing your product or service to meet a segment's need, and of course develop a marketing mix that will create a competitive advantage into the minds of your selected target market. So that is positioning. All right, moving on. In your third marketing management process is for you now to prepare your marketing plan. So after you segment your customers, you prepare now, or your after you segment, you target and you position, you now have to prepare your marketing plan. Okay, by using your 4 P's. All right, so when we speak of your 4 P's, we have your product, price, place, promotion, also known as your C's. These are the basic P's and C's of marketing. So you create value through a new product and development. And of course, innovation. For the price, you have to capture the value by setting the price, or by setting your price, and of course maybe perhaps applying adaptation. And then we also have here place. You deliver value through design and management. And of course promotion, you communicate the value that of course would lead to awareness and loyalty. Okay, so when we speak of your 4 P's, it's also known as your marketing mix. So it is a set of marketing tools that the firm uses to pursue its marketing objectives in the target market. Okay, so these are the 4 P's of, or the components of your marketing mix. All right. Finally, after, okay, you prepare your marketing plan. Okay, of course, you have now to apply, monitor, evaluate your marketing management process. So after setting your specific goals, after coming up with your market opportunity analysis, after preparing your marketing plan, you have to apply, you have to monitor, okay? You have to make sure that what you did was also already successful. If not, maybe you have to go back and see what went wrong, okay, and try to come up with solution. Okay, now in your marketing communication, in the model of your marketing process, so as you can see, when you create value for customers and build customer relationships, it includes, of course, your marketing communication. So you design a customer-driven marketing strategy and construct a marketing program that delivers superior value, and then build profitable relationships and create customer delight. How will you do that? By coming up with a successful marketing communication plan. Okay, all right. So these are your marketing communications mix. So we have advertising, sales promotion, events and experiences, PR and publicity, direct marketing, interactive marketing, and of course, personal selling. So when we speak of promotion, it pertains to all the activities done to increase public awareness about products, organizations, or virtue. So marketing communication is actually another term for promotion, since it involves reaching your target market through various types of communication. Okay. So when we speak of your marketing communication, we mentioned it earlier. So concerned with methods, process, meanings, perceptions, and actions associated with the ways in which organizations, okay, engage with their target audience. When we speak of engagement, of course, we're referring to the use of communication tools, okay, media and messages in order to captivate your audience, often achieved through a blend of intellectual and emotional engagement, um, stimulation. So basically, engagement may last for seconds, such as the impact of stunning ads, okay, or maybe the sight of a beautiful person, or the emotion um, of a piece of music that might bring, okay, or the music might bring to an individual. Okay, so you have to remember that if you are creating an advertisement. Okay, moving on, let's take a look at the macro framework of marketing communications. So we have here your planned market communication or marketing communications, right? That would bring either maybe a satisfying experience to your audience. We also have here your service experience-based communications, unplanned marketing communications, product experience-based communications. First, let's take a look at your planned marketing communications. So your planned marketing communications incorporates three key elements, which includes, of course, your tools, media, and messages. So the main communication tools are, of course, advertising, sales promotion, public relations, direct marketing, and personal selling, and added value approaches such as sponsorship. Okay. In addition to that, in your planned marketing communications, messages can be primarily informative or emotional, but are usually a subtle blend of both dimensions, reflecting the preferences and needs of the target audience. Okay. So there are two main types of media. We have your traditional media, which includes, of course, your print and broadcast cinema or outdoor advertisement or outdoor media. We also have another is your digital media and, of course, the internet media or the use of the internet. Okay, so that's your unplanned marketing communications. Of course, unplanned marketing communications involve communications that have not been anticipated. Okay, so unplanned marketing communications, it also includes comments by third-party experts, changes in legislations, regulations by governments, actions of competitors, failures in the production or distribution processes, or perhaps the most potent of all communications, the word of mouth comments between customers. So all impact on the way in which organizations and brand are perceived and the image or images and reputations that are developed, right? So of course, we also have your service experience-based communication with the use of customer service perhaps. And of course, product experience-based communication. So perhaps you communicate um, product experience by providing product that is of high quality, something like that. Okay, let's proceed now to your marketing communication mix, right? So the marketing communication mix would include, of course, your tools, media, and messages. So So there are 5 principal marketing communication tools. We have advertising, sales promotions, public relations, direct marketing, and personal selling. So number 1 is your advertising. So this is a non-personal form of communication. It offers a high degree of control for those responsible for the design and delivery of advertising messages. So advertising, okay, could also pertain to any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or services by an identified sponsor. So it could be done through, okay, the following types of media. We have your print media, your broadcast media, network media, electronic media, or maybe display media. So advertisements are basically pervasive. What do we mean by this? They are found easily everywhere. It could also show amplified expressiveness. So advertisements have a certain level of dramatization in order to emphasize their brand or maybe get people's attention. It is also impersonal. Why? Because advertisements are not directed to a specific person or against any specified brand. Okay. Next is your sales promotion. So sales promotion here aims to accelerate sales and gather marketing information. So it basically includes a variety of short-term incentives to encourage trial or purchase of products or services. So the main objective is perhaps to introduce new products or maybe to clear out existing inventories or to attract more people and maybe to temporarily lift sales. We also have your personal selling. So personal selling is traditionally perceived as an interpersonal communication tool that of course involves a face-to-face activity. So it's undertaken by individuals, often representing an organization, in order to inform, persuade, or maybe remind an individual or maybe a group to take appropriate action. What is that action? To buy the product as required by the sponsor's representative. Okay. And then we also have here your public relations or your PR. So these are variety of programs, okay, to promote or protect the company's image or its individual product communications. Okay. When we speak of your publicity, it involves the use of information that concerns a person, a group, or product, which is disseminated through various uh, media to attract public notice. But when we speak of your public relations, it is a practice of managing the spread of information between an individual or an organization and the public. Okay, and then we have direct marketing. So direct marketing, okay, uh, when it comes to promotion, direct marketing is manifested by marketers who perhaps use mails, telephone, fax, email, or internet to communicate directly or solicit response or dialogue from specific customer and prospects. Okay. All right, now let's proceed to your integrated marketing communications. So when we speak of your integrated marketing communications, it is actually a concept that ensures that all forms of communications and messages are carefully linked together. So if you advertise via Facebook, or maybe if you use television advertisement or billboard advertisement, etc., etc., the messages that you want to communicate should be carefully linked together. Pare-pareho ang message na gusto mong i-convey sa mga audience mo. Okay. All right. So, in addition to that, when we speak of your integrated marketing communication, this is a concept of integrated marketing communication that recognizes the merits of different marketing communication disciplines and the value of using appropriate combination of these disciplines to maximize the effect of organizations' communications that customers encounter through clarity and consistency. Okay, so that is your marketing or integrated marketing communications, right? Let us now take a look at what makes an advertisement effective. So we have here the different characteristics of effective advertisements. So we have strategy, creativity, and execution. First, and of course, advertising must be goal-directed. First, let's take a look at your strategy. So an effective advertisement should, of course, number one, it has to meet your specific objective. So what are you trying to accomplish? What is your objective? What are your objectives? Next, carefully direct it to a certain audience. Of course, you have to create messages or message to speak to audience's most important concern. And it runs it in a media that will reach its audience most effectively. Okay, so in here, in this example, so you have to ask, did it meet their specific objectives? So if you look at this Pizza Hut advertisement, their specific objective is to serve pizza that originated from different countries such as France, USA, Italy, and China. Okay, there you go. As for the Starbucks advertisement, okay, who is their audience in terms of their advertisement? Of course, coffee lovers. All right, next, creativity is also very, very important. So a creative concept is the ad central idea, something that would grab the attention of the audience and the image would stick in their memory. So there should be creativity. All right. So in our example here, of course, you can see that these advertisements are very, very creative. Okay. Next is the execution. So you have to be very careful with the details in terms of your photography, your setting, your printing, okay, and the production values of the advertisement should be fine-tuned. If you look at this example here, in terms of its execution, it is actually well executed. Okay, so there. And finally, another characteristic of your effective advertisement is that advertising must be goal-oriented. So you have to understand the various types of intended effects in the main objective or goal of an advertisement. So your main concern would be the type of or the types of impacts or effects that advertisers hope to create in the minds of their audience. Okay. So in terms of the effectiveness factor, so a model of key effects or the categories of effectiveness would be your TFA model. What is this? Your think, feel, and act. In terms of your think, okay, you have to make sure that you arouse the curiosity and the interest, okay, and get the attention of your audience. Okay, so it is in this stage that customers become rational, trying to justify their thoughts on a product. So it is actually your job as an advertiser, okay, um, to guide the customers in understanding the product better. And then we also have your feel, okay, otherwise known as your persuasion. So this is actually the time when marketers guide customers from understanding the product into wanting the product. So customers must desire your product. So customers can shift from being logical to being emotional. And of course, finally, there should be an action, okay, or act. So marketers aim to guide the prospect customers to finally make the decision to purchase the product. Okay, moving on. Let us take a look at the different types of advertising. So first is, of course, your brand advertising, which focuses on the development of a long-term brand identity and image. Another is your retail or local advertising. So the message announces facts about the products that are available in the nearby store. So the objectives tend to focus on stimulating store traffic and creating a distinctive image for the retailer. Okay, another is your political advertising. So it is used to persuade people to vote, okay, for politicians or their ideas. However, the issue here is that it tends to focus more on the image rather than issues. And then we have also your directory advertising. So people refer to it to find out how to buy a product or services. Another is your direct response advertising. So can use any advertising medium with the objective of stimulating sale directly. So the key here is that for the advertisers or for the perhaps business owners, okay, to stimulate sale directly, they have to write their phone number so that customers can directly contact them. Okay, we also have business to business advertising. So it includes only messages directed at retailers, wholesalers, distributors, industrial purchasers, professional and other businesses, but not to general customers. And then institutional or corporate advertising. So messages focus on establishing a corporate identity or winning the public over to organizations' viewpoints. And then we also have public service advertising. So public service announcement that communicates a message on behalf of some good cause. So usually created by advertising professionals free of charge. Okay. And then we also have here interactive advertising. So it is delivered to individual customers who have access to a computer and the internet, and the customer can actually what? Respond to an ad or perhaps ignore it. All right, now let's take a look at the different roles of advertising. So, number one, it has a marketing role to carry persuasive messages to actual and potential customers. It also have, okay, a communication role to transmit different types of market information to match buyers and sellers in the marketplace. Okay. And another is that there is also an economic role to objectively provide price or value information, thereby creating a more rational economy. And of course, societal role to inform customers about new and improved products and helps them compare products and features and make informed decisions. All right. Also provides product and brand information. They provide relevant information that will aid decision making, provides incentives to take action, gives the customers the reason to switch brand, provides reminders and reinforcements. So constantly remind customers about the name of the brand, its benefit, its value, and etc. Okay. So in summary, so advertising types, roles, and functions, okay, are the following. So as you can see, we have here the types of advertising. We have the roles of advertisement or advertising, and of course, its functions. Right. Let's proceed now to the 6 key issues in advertising. Okay. First is puffery. So what is puffery? Advertising or other sales representations which praise the product or the items to be sold with subjective opinions or superlatives or exaggerations, vaguely and generally stating no specific acts. So here are some examples of your puffery. Next is taste and advertising. So, of course, everyone has different standards of good taste or bad taste. So, talking about advertising, anything that leaves majority of people uncomfortable falls under the bad taste advertising. There. These are some examples of your bad taste advertising. Next is stereotyping. So stereotype is a popular belief about a specific type of individuals, presenting a group of people in an unvarying pattern that lacks individuality. Like there are issues such as women in advertisements, racial and ethnic stereotypes, senior citizens, gay and lesbian consumers. Okay, here are examples of stereotyping. So in our first example, it shows as if you have darker skin, your skin is not beautiful. Okay, so these are some examples. For women, in terms of advertisement, stereotyping of women as the weaker sex. Okay, they cannot even open anything, so something like that. In terms of race, when it's chocolate, they use darker people to advertise. Okay, something like that. Okay, Children's advertising, there are two views here. There are other self-regulatory mechanisms present in the society, and its parents or guardians' responsibility to restrict advertising to children by moderating their media consumption. Since children are actually incapable of making decisions by evaluating the messages addressed to them, advertisements should not, okay, be directed towards children. Okay. Another is that advertising uh, controversial products, perhaps, okay, such as tobacco, alcohol, gambling, prescription drugs. We also have here subliminal advertising, communicating symbols that convey meaning but below the threshold of individual perception. So it's a bit difficult to understand. Okay, subliminal, or there is a message there that, okay, something that's not acceptable. If you look at this example here, if you look at it closely, it's as if it's trying to spell something there. Okay. All right. Next, this is another example of your subliminal advertising, communicating symbols that convey meaning but below the threshold of normal perception. Okay, will blow your mind away. All right, so there are reasonable bases for making a claim. So here are some reasonable bases: type and specificity of the claim made, or the type of product. You have to be wary of possible consequences of false claims. Okay, be mindful of the degree of reliance on the claims by consumers, and the type of accessibility of evidence available for making your claim. All right, let's proceed now to comparative advertising. So you have to avoid misrepresenting your competitors' product. Okay, let's take a look at an example here of your comparative advertising.
In digital cameras, Duracell's standard alkaline batteries will only take up to 80 shots. Energizer Lithium performs up to 7 times longer, taking up to a massive 600 shots. Energizer Lithium, the world's longest lasting AA battery in high-powered devices.
Okay, so that is an example, or this is an example of your comparative advertisement. In other countries, it's okay for them to mention the name of the competitor and try to compare them, but in the Philippines, it's a bit, it's not allowed. Of course, they have to at least blur the competitor's brand. Okay, but in other countries such as Australia, it's okay for them to show the competitor's brand, although in our country it's not possible. Okay, okay, next is endorsements. So endorsers must be qualified by experience or training to make judgments, and they must actually use the product. Okay, so this is very, very important. They have to really use the product that they advertise. Okay, in terms of demonstration, product demonstration in advertising must not mislead consumers. Okay, so here are some of the ways on how to prevent legal action. Obtain written permission from appropriate people early in creative process if an ad uh, carries the potential to violate copyright or privacy laws. Moreover, okay, during the production, make sure no one hires a person to sound like, look like, or otherwise represent a celebrity. If shooting a commercial prior to the shoot, get the producers signed affidavit that demonstrations are not mock-ups. So have regular seminars with lawyers to update staff on how to stay within the limits of advertising law. Okay, so this ends our first lecture on advertising.